If you've been looking for free plugins to make your 808s and drums hit ungodly hard, then look no more. And yes, I said free, which is crazy considering how powerful these plugins are. And so today, I made a list of the top 5 best free plugins for 808 and drum processing. In other words, to make your drums hit hard and your 808s to smack. These are perfect to enhance your 808s, to make your drums sound crispy and clean, or even if you're into sound design, you can even make your own sounds out of these plugins as well. So let's just get right into it. Starting off with our first plugin, which you might have already heard before, Camel Crusher. And this plugin right here is very self-explanatory. Of course, there's 4 modes here: distortion, filter, compressor, and master, and they're really easy to understand. Now, Camel Crusher has been a staple. Let's just start off with the distortion, and here you have tube and mech. Here, of course, you have 0 to 100, and this is just the saturation itself. And then mech is more like an aggressive, gritty like saturation, which just makes it a lot more like crazy, a lot more just aggressive. Of course, here in the master, you have the volume, the mix, the filter, you have the cutoff knob, and the res knob, and the compressor, you have the amount, and then the fat mode, which pretty much increases the overall loudness and just makes everything just sound a lot more grittier and a lot more aggressive. So this is the 808 that we went with. This is a Internet Money 808, of course, and this is with the beat. You know, it doesn't really hit hard, right? So let's go on Camel Crusher and let's turn up the distortion a little bit. Make sure the mix is, let's just have it halfway for right now, or actually let's put it on max mix, so you can really hear what the plugin can do. Oh, it's already hitting crazy. All right, now clearly if you put it up that high, you're overdoing it. That's when you would want to mix the mix knob here, because you still get those harmonics in that very high distortion. And I want you to hear the difference. It's pretty crazy, and that's pretty much just messing with this distortion knob here. Of course, if you want to bring up the mech, if you still want to maintain the same tone and characteristic of the original 808, just put the mix all the way down and just fine tune it, you know, just have it enough where like it boosts those frequencies. Then let's turn up the filter. Now, of course, here, this is just a cutoff knob. It's just a low pass filter here. Turn up the compressor. You just want to glue all those sounds together. You know, it's pretty fun. This plugin is self-explanatory. It does what it's advertised. That saturation, that distortion, that compressor, you know, you can make some pretty unique 808s. Recommend it.
And it's free, my man. It's free.
Moving on to our next free plugin, we have SK10. Now, this one is a sub kick simulator. It pretty much just simulates the lower frequencies onto your kick, your sub, your 808. And then for this one, it's very much limited. There's only 2 knobs, or there's only 3 knobs: the mix, the low pass, and the out. And then you have the in or out signal. You can pretty much just use this if you just want to have more low end onto your kick, onto your 808s, you know, just a little bit more low end, so we can just hear how that sounds. Now this is 100% mix. Ugh. Now you can make that into something completely different, and it hears the frequency of the low pass, or you would want to fine tune it. Oh, hear that? Now this works also better with like a kick. So let's say you have a kick here. So you have this kick right here, right? So here, look at that. This is without it. When, you know, customizing your drums, you know, trying to make that bam bam bam. The same thing with the Camel Crusher. You can use it with your snares, make it a lot more crunchier, a lot more aggressive, you know, just create some crazy unique sounds in there. Now moving on to our next free plugin, we have Basslane, which is by far one of the best free plugins that I've used for 808s and kicks. It's really easy to understand, and there's also a paid version of this which just has a lot more tools, a lot more customizability, but the free version pretty much is all you need. You know, it has everything you need, and it looks pretty good. You know, it looks colorful too. Pretty much you're just going to be adding side harmonics onto Basslane. Bring the side harmonics up. Now this is the width. Have it up there. Now there's the gain here. Now this is where you really want to be messing around with, is the frequency. This is where you can create a bunch of sounds with this, with just one 808. Look at that. This is without it. This is with it. Now let's try another 808. I want more of like a very weak 808 kind of. Let's try this one. So let's do this 1 octave. This is just by itself. This is by itself right here. Now this is with it. Oh my gosh, it already sounds more menacing. It sounds like a modern 808 now, but I want y'all to explore that. That's just absolutely beautiful. Now moving on to the next free plugin, which is high key underrated. This is Refire. This reminds me a lot of Knock by Plugins by Knock. You know, it's very similar, but this version is free and it pretty much has the same features. You know, bang is punch, and this is pretty much like the transient of your kick or of your 808 bass, whatever. This is the boost. So on the tip of the transient pause, it's gonna boost it up. So it basically just means the higher the knob, the harder it's gonna smack. Of course, here you have your saturation knob. Heat is the saturation. You have 3 knobs here, just as much as here. I'm not sure what exactly they do. Of course, here you have your sub. You know, you got the pitch in case you want to add like an extra low end onto your bass. You got the detail, which is air. This is pretty much like the I think it boosts the frequencies of the transient from here. So like the higher this, it just makes it a lot more like fresher, I guess. And then clamp is like the limiter, you know, like right here, the clipper limiter type shit. So they're very, very similar to each other, but this one's free. And the developer also has a whole bunch of other free plugins, which is high key kind of fire, bro. They kind of released a whole bunch of free plugins. So let's actually hear this. Ooh. Oh, I see. It's like different frequency boosts or some shit. Of course, at the frequency. Let's do a negative tone. Just without it. New 808 right there. Let's try another one. Oh, hold on, bro. Oh, it's because it's low. So I'm just gonna leave it at 0. This is how it sounds like by itself. And I'm keeping the same settings as the last 808. Let me just turn it on so you can hear how that sounds. Holy shit. In case you want your 808s to just hit a little bit harder, you just gotta, oh my gosh. Now this is perfect, especially if you're making an 808 within Sublab or like your own actual custom 808 type shit, right? Let's just use the stock preset right here. Look at that. Let's add the bass. Oh my gosh, this is by itself. Sounds so sad, right? With it. Oh, it just sounds like it's about to go crazy. So for our final free plugin is, you've most likely already heard of the company before, which is Diablo by Cymatics. Now I have the full version, so mine looks different than the free version, the light version. I think you only have 2 knobs in there, and it's just like a clip and then like punch or something. But it's, trust guys, it's crazy. Let me just show you real quick before I show you the 808. Let me show you the claps. So let me take a clap from this kit. Let's do this one, and this is what I always do to all my claps. Okay, you want to get that freshness. Okay, trust. Bring the high a little bit, the sizzle. Now if you want sizzle, use the grit or the exciter. I like using exciter, but I might put the grit. The grit sounds a little bit better. Put the width up, put a soft clipper, the mid up, the low down, change the frequency, which is a snare boost. Now that's just one. This is the original. So enhanced version, right? It sounds a little bit more modern, right? Let's put this down an octave or a semitone. See, it sounds a little bit more. It sounds a little bit more something that I would use. Look, and this is the original. Come on now. Let's do a hi-hat real quick because I want to show y'all. Let's do, because the hi-hats do it works so well. Let's do this one because it works so well. And then we're gonna do a string of hi-hats real quick, or like a set. All right. So we're gonna default. I always do this, okay? Not grit, exciter, because this works perfect for hi-hats. Put the sizzle up, the high for the EQ, the mid, the low a little bit down. You know, you don't want to hit, you don't want to be like a little bit too harsh, right? I don't want to be crazy harsh. All right, and this is before, after. Just sounds a little bit more crispy, right? Absolutely lovely kicks. Like, come on now. It can make any kick hit hard, bro. Like, there's so much with this. I love the sizzle part right here. You can turn it on and off. Make it have like a little bit crunch. Look at that. Without it, weak. With it, hard. Pause. Like, this plugin is crazy. Oh, I didn't show you the 808. I'm about to show you that right now. So this is where the good stuff comes in right now. Or put the exciter. This is without it. with it. Dude, that's crazy, bro. Already beautiful. Now, I don't really like this beat, but it's cool. Right? Weak, or sounds hard. Weak. You can't really hear it. And with this, it just sounds crazy hard. Now, before I end the video, I do want to do some honorable mentions. In case you guys are looking for some paid plugins for drum processing and all that good stuff, these are the ones that I do recommend. Of course, I already mentioned to get the full version of Diablo. It is $50. It's not too expensive, but for what this plugin can do, it is absolutely crazy. I literally use this for all my drums, for all my 808s. I've been using this for all my kits. I use Diablo. I use Baseline. I also recommend getting the full version of Baseline. I need to get it myself. I also recommend this one plugin called Punch, something like that. This right here is a game changer, bro. This is like a transient plugin. Also recommend, of course, Knock. I'm sure you guys saw that earlier. I mean, it's the same thing as Refire. You don't really need it, but with here you have a couple of high quality resamples. So let's get resample right here. You have a pristine high quality. The tone matches here. You just have, it's just like, I don't know, it's out there, right? It's also as fire, just as fire as Refire. And I'll also recommend Diablo Cymatics Vortex. This is like a saturation distortion plugin by Cymatics. For some reason, mine's not activated anymore, but there's like 4 modes here, different modes of distortion and saturation. This is where I made my craziest 808s yet. They sound like alien-like 808s. Like, for example, let me just show you real quick. This is from my hidden gems kit. Now, these 808s were made because of Vortex with these 2 hidden modes, or with these 2 modes here. They're crazy for sound design. Sounds like, that's why I got a little bit of exotic drums, because it sounds crazy, like alien-like drums. Absolutely insane. Absolutely love this plugin for sound design. Deeply recommend it, and I believe it's only like $25. But yeah, there you guys have it. If you guys also want me to review my personal drum bus when it comes to 808 and drum processing, I will gladly do that, bro. My shit comes in clutch. I made all my 808s transients hit hard, bro. All the claps, all the snares. That's why they don't disappoint, my G. But speaking of kits, because I'm dropping this video, giving y'all the sauce, I'm also giving y'all some extra sauce by making one of my OG kits, a limited time only steel for only $9, most wanted. You guys get a crazy amount of sounds in there. You guys get royalty-free melody loops, accents, melody midis, starters, what else? Drums, crazy 808s. Like, my guys, like, come on, crazy. And I did use Punch. And I use all the plugins that I showed you here, Baseline, Punch, Cymatics, Diablo, and a whole bunch of other ones from my personal drum bus processing chain. Claps. Crazy. 808s, absolutely hard. Crazy. For only $9, my boys. Most wanted will be yours. It's a limited time only, so make sure you guys get that quick. But yeah, that's essentially it. Make sure you guys leave some suggestions down below on what you guys want to see next. A whole bunch of content more coming, a whole bunch of stuff coming. Hope you guys been appreciating the videos. I'll see you boys in the next one. Deuce.